All right, man. Hey, Jay here.
What's up, King?
Hey, man. Back in the black court, man. Really hyped to be here tonight. Been a long day, though, dog. Been
Yes,
a long
sir.
day.
Mm-hmm.
Man, been practicing all day, man. Really need to go lay down somewhere, but we got to get that podcast in. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I had a great day, man. I was out of town yesterday. Had a long day. Drove to Atlanta. Did a photo shoot, video shoot. Drove right back.
Yeah.
I stopped at one of my favorite spots, man. Slutty Vegan.
What? Oh,
Man.
yeah. I heard it's absolutely incredible.
Absolutely, man. I bought 2 burgers.
Yeah.
You know how much a burger, a little combo over there is?
About $8, $9.
No, sir, 15 for the
15.
combo. And so I got 2 of them joints. And then I didn't eat both. I say one for the day. But, since I was in town, I said, let me go ahead and stop by Slutty Vegan. Man, after that, I went straight to the photo shoot, video shoot. As soon as that was over, I stopped at my other favorite spot called Yeah Burger.
Yeah.
It's a vegan spot there, too. It's really dope.
Man, Jay, I'm really proud of you, man, on the vegan side, man. You roll it out. No, you live it. A lot of people don't know I was there with you kind of in the beginning.
Tell the story how
it
this started. You want to tell the story?
Well,
I know this ain't in the black court, but can you tell how it started?
I'm just saying, man, when we were traveling out in, where were we at? In New Mexico somewhere?
Yeah.
And we had to go to all these different places, man, to try to find some vegan food. And
Yeah.
I was really not optimistic because I was like, I know this is not going to taste good, man. But we went to a spot out there in Albuquerque, New Mexico, that we found, and the food was absolutely delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of my real introduction through you,
Really?
to the vegan world and vegan food, and that it can taste good and you can enjoy it and you can get filled up. And man, they even had I think vegan cupcakes or something. Man, it was all good. So.
Oh yeah, you never had a vegan donut?
No.
Vegan cupcake?
Yeah.
Whole Foods shout out to Whole Foods. Listen, man. Whole Foods has a vegan chocolate chip cookie, bro.
Yeah.
Man, it's so good. Sunflower. I'm shouting out everybody in the show. I'm sorry, man. That sunflower over what's that? East Boulevard.
Yeah.
Man, that thing feel like a cake when you when you fold that thing and have a cookie. Boy, that thing just fall off the. It's great, man. I love it.
Well, when they finally figure out how to make a real vegan steak, then it's gonna be on and popping.
Hey man, listen.
I can't find vegan steak like I want to.
Listen, man. Listen. Before I was vegan,
Yeah.
you and we done ran down some big juicy steaks in New Mexico with the truffle butter on top.
Oh my goodness.
What was that place called?
Vintage? Vintage, yeah.
Ooh,
Oh my goodness,
wee.
man.
Shout
Yeah.
out to Vintage, man.
Yeah, man. I will say this, and then we'll move on to what we got to
Mm-hmm.
discuss tonight, man. I went down to a restaurant in Charleston
Yes, sir.
about 4 or 5 months ago,
Okay.
and they had that Wagyu. Was it Wagyu or Wagyu steak?
I
I
listen.
think it's Wagyu. Man,
I just
they
heard
had that
about
Wagyu.
it in
Man,
a
let me
rap
tell you
song.
something. You talking about butter in your mouth, man. I mean, there is nothing in the world like that. But you can only eat it once in life. It's too expensive, man.
Yeah. You ordered a Wagyu steak?
I did, man. I made a mistake because I looked on the menu and my boys were ordering steaks, and their steaks were like $42, $52.
Yeah.
And I saw beside the Wagyu, it was like, I think it was $32. And I was like, I'm going to get a Wagyu steak for $32. So when the waiter came, I was like, I'm going to take the Wagyu. He said, oh, yes, sir. I said, yeah, let me get that. He said, how many ounces you want?
Yeah.
I said 5, 6. He said, well, you can get more if you want now. I said, well, give me 8 ounces. It was $32 an ounce, man.
What?
Yeah, I thought it was $32
For one steak?
for one steak.
Good.
And when they bought the check, man, I looked at
Did
the
you look
check,
at this?
It must be crazy, man.
Did you look at the check?
Yes, sir.
That was one of those checks where you just throw the card in there real quick and don't look in there.
Man, it was one of them checks where you try to figure out how you could sneak out of the restaurant and get out of there, man. So, but it is, if you ever get a chance to try it, man, Wagyu steak is
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. You
No,
can
I
stick
am.
with vegan.
I'm on the other side. I do not consume flesh anymore.
Okay. Well, I eat enough for both of us. Dog. I got you. I got your back on that. But
What's
man,
up?
it's always exciting to be here, man. Hey, look, Jay, you know how we do it.
Yes, sir.
You know how your mom used to say you got to eat your vegetables first?
Yes.
That's what we do on this
My
show.
mom would say, no starches. Don't get too many starches.
Gotta eat your vegetables first, man. We gonna start off with talking about topic. We're always gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
Show has 2 halves.
Okay.
Eat our vegetables first. We're going to start out with the first half, legal issues, business issues, issues of interest to the community.
Okay.
That's them vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dessert is always going to be something related to sports or sports business. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap. What we talking about today, man?
You want to talk? We want to tell you what the vegetable is today?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to eat my vegetables, but go ahead.
That Omarion.
That doom 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 touch.
That was a serious video. That was a serious video. You can throw it. I can't remember the young lady that was dancing, but she had it going on.
I don't know who was in that video.
Yeah. But we're gonna start off with the vegetables. We're gonna talk tonight about a very serious topic.
Oh snap!
COVID.
Oh, you see that? LG.
COVID.
Shout out to LG off camera.
Yeah.
Our guy. Did you hear how he's like
COVID.
his voice changed?
Yeah.
Talk about
COVID, man. We got to talk about it, man, and how it relates to the black community. We're going to do that CNC tonight. We're going to start off first half is COVID, and then the second half going to be them boys.
What?
How about them Cowboys?
The CNC Music Factory.
We're going to talk about COVID and Cowboys, man. We're going to start off with the serious topic, man. COVID, man. It's something that, we don't really discuss. I don't see a lot of discussions in the black community about COVID and its impact on the community, its impact on our past, and its impact on our future.
That's real.
We don't hear a lot of discussion about that. I thought maybe we get that out in the open, man, and talk a little bit about COVID, man.
Yeah, man, I was thinking about that. I mean, listen, COVID is something that we can't escape right now. We are all impacted in some way. We all know someone who may have lost their life to COVID. If you have children, school-age children, me and my wife and I have a 10-year-old son, Lil Jay. What up, man? Who 3 of his school years have been impacted by the pandemic. So it's just, I look forward to what you want to talk about as it relates to COVID, man. But how can you escape it? I'm tired of talking about COVID, but I'm tired of COVID.
Yeah.
But I do think it's so important that we look at COVID from a different perspective as it relates to the black community.
Man, let's start out with this, Jay. Do you remember a time when people questioned whether or not that sounds like Morgan Freeman? Didn't it? Remember a time?
It was this year.
Yeah.
At the Biltmore. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Man, when you just reminded me of Shawshank Redemption, man. But we're gonna keep moving. But look, man.
You want to say I did. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
But you remember there was a time when people were questioning whether or not the pandemic was real?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? How amazing is that? There was a political climate at one point where the issue was whether or not the pandemic was real, whether you needed to mask up and protect yourself. It's almost amazing now to look back and realize that dynamic even existed, man.
Ken, I don't know if that has even dissipated at this point for certain folks. I definitely believe that people believe that the virus is real. But I just still think that people, no matter what they want to do, there's still some disbelief in certain things. I know we want to get into, other aspects, whether it's mask mandates, vaccines, but every step of the way, there's been some type of disbelief on, is the virus real? Do we need to wear a mask? Do we need a vaccine? There's always, it has through this whole process. And I don't know if you noticed, it's been almost two years.
Yeah.
2 years. Do you remember this? Do you remember around March or April when here in Charlotte, we had the stay-at-home order, right?
Yeah.
And thinking, oh, this is going to be over by the summertime.
Man.
I'm going to be back at Myrtle Beach, man, by June.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah.
So no, I understand. I feel you.
Man, first of all, did you see that in the African American community? This is in the black court. This disbelief about the pandemic. I never had a lot of conversations with my friends about whether or not it was real. It was kind of like, for some reason, most of the people that I interacted with were concerned that it was real, and were early on like, yeah, I got to do some things to, protect myself. Yeah.
You know, I don't necessarily remember. Well, this is how I saw it at the time. There was, in America, I feel like we always live in this bubble where we feel like even though something is going on, we may believe that it's real, but we don't believe that it's going to happen to us. So there was I definitely remember feeling like, I mean, it's not going to come over here though. We hear about all types of, for years, all types of viruses in other parts of the world where, miraculously it never it never hit the United States. So I always felt like that. Oh, even at that moment, I never believed that it was going to affect the United States the way that it has.
Oh, really? Hey, obviously you don't see a lot of that now.
No.
I also remember a time when people weren't all down about wearing masks, and
Still
which is
not.
amazing to me.
Yeah.
I agree that it's still kind of like that, but I remember back when I would go to like get gas or go to the grocery store, and it'd be like half the people had on masks and half of them didn't. Now, man, I'll tell you, sometimes you struggle to find somebody who doesn't have a mask on. It's really amazing, but nobody talks about that dynamic, how there was this doubt that we needed to engage in mitigation efforts like mask wearing or vaccinations to prevent the proliferation of the virus, and people didn't believe that it could be this damaging. But nobody talks about it now. It's like everybody got a pass for that, but that was one of the things that kept the pandemic and the virus thriving.
Yeah. I remember it being weird to have a mask on or to get funny looks like Buddy got a mask on. Like, why? Like, I remember it was a group called AO and Teo, or if you remember, Michael Jackson would wear a mask most often in times that he was out in public. God rest his soul. Shout out to the king. But I remember it being weird or a funny feeling of wearing a mask. And so it's weird that over time, now it's like okay, I have my gloves or I have my mask, I got my hat, I got to make sure that I have a mask on.
Man, and there was a time too, I mean, I know it still exists a little bit. Man, people would fight and get upset and mad if you told them that they needed to wear a mask here or there.
Yeah.
And that still exists, but I mean, it was incredible then. And then you compare that to what has happened in terms of where the pandemic has gone. It's been really alarming and eye-opening that, we can have such a disparity of opinion about a situation that affects all of us. But then there's this cloud, this overwhelming outcome that suggests that we should have been wearing masks all along, so it's very interesting, man.
Yeah, and I believe that people just don't want to be told what to do. Like, you and I can sit in this room for hours, but if I say, Ken, you can't go out that door, it brings on this different feeling. And I think that people just, because they're being told something or what they can't do, now they have a problem with it. In spite of the dangers of the virus, that doesn't matter. Yeah, it's dangerous, or yeah, it may hurt you or harm you or even kill you, but because you told me I can't, I have to wear it. That's my issue.
Man, have you put much thought at all into the fear and anxiety that the pandemic has injected into our youth and our community?
Yeah.
Because, of course, I interact with African Americans most because that's our community. First, there was this thought that maybe it wasn't real, and then there was this thought that maybe it won't affect me. But then I've had relatives, friends, just like everybody else, who have had the virus, or had relatives have the virus, or have relatives pass away because of the virus. And what I'm starting to notice now in our community, because the African American community was affected disparately related to the pandemic. I think at one point we had double the rate of infection as other ethnicities. So it was
especially before the vaccine, it was bad out here.
It was bad. Man, then it hit and people got sick and people died in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'm noticing is this residual impact of kind of depression.
Mm.
And it's kind of interesting, like kind of, the carpet was yanked out from under us. We had this world of stability.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that there could be a pandemic that could shake the foundations of everything we know that's normal day in and day out?
Yeah.
So, it's been interesting to watch our peers in the African American community react to the pandemic after having friends or relatives impacted, or even themselves getting sick or being hospitalized. It's been interesting.
Yeah, it has been. And, I just thought about, do you remember the man, you probably don't remember his name. I don't remember his name. That there was a business owner in Tennessee. I'm talking about at the beginning of the pandemic, who had a business and he didn't want to close it. He thought people were crazy. He was like, we didn't overreact like this I was alive when polio was running rampant through the country. And so, like I was stating earlier, I really believe that there was some sort of disbelief. Like, this can't happen to America. This can't happen to us. We hear about things happening all the time, but it's never here. We are too smart. We're too good. We're too American to allow that to happen to us. And we found out that wasn't true.
Exactly, man. And then you've been seeing some of these interesting stories about politicians or who are anti-vax or anti-pandemic who passed away from the virus.
Yeah.
Really sad stories of people who were in denial about the fact that the virus existed, or that they needed to wear a mask, or that they needed to get vaccinated, and then they pass away from the very thing that they suggested was not a serious issue.
Yeah, I want to say that about that. What I believe, this is my opinion, that, Ken, I believe that we as Americans extended the virus probably a year longer than we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that because the pandemic was politicized so much, whether it was the actual virus itself, whether it was the vaccine, or before that, mask, and then the vaccine, it's just been one long fight about something that we have visual evidence every day. And then, you've probably seen all these stories where people were in the hospital. I saw it, I don't know if it was on Dateline or whatever. There was a reporter at the hospital sitting beside the bed of a man who had a debilitating fight with COVID. And he asked him, with everything that you've been through, would you now take the vaccine? He looked that man straight in his face and said, no, I would do everything the same. About died. And he said, you can't make me do it. You can't make me take, you can't shove it down my throat. And it's so sad, Ken, that we've lost so many people, and this has been, drug out, over an extra period of time because of fighting.
I think we ought to talk about everybody has their own thoughts and ideas about what we should do personally.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to be one to argue that we can tell you what to do with your own body. So don't even start that. I'm not telling you what to do with your body.
Can't say miss me with that.
Yeah, but a recommendation, like in terms of if I were to tell a young African American man or woman what they should do, I would certainly recommend that they get vaxxed up, wear your mask, and get your boosters. And stay on that side of the ledger. Now, that's my thought, right? I've got friends, man, who haven't been vaccinated.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point now where I don't argue with them because, boy, you got about 2 hours on your hand if you start going down that road. So I don't argue at all. But I'm saying if I were to make a recommendation to someone,
turn into a scientist right in front of you,
let me tell you what, the cosmos and vaccination came from Neptune and all. I ain't picking on nobody. I'm just telling you what I hear. So the bottom line is, my personal recommendation.
Well, turn into Dr. Seuss.
I'm telling you, man. Hey, look. So just I'm just saying, if I if I was talking to my son.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my son Christian and see it.
Yeah.
I of course tell him, hey, and we did.
Yeah.
Go get your vaccination. When them boosters come out, we're gonna be first in line to get those boosters.
Yeah.
And we wear that mask. Do you know they've gotten to the point now, Jay, where some people are saying maybe it's a better idea to go ahead and catch it and get it out of your system. And so, I've heard doctors talk about how dangerous that perspective is.
Yeah. You know, I've talked to I was with a client last week at a meeting, and they live in South Carolina. And just for folks that know or don't know, we live here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a place like Fort Mill, South Carolina is 10-15 minutes away, depending on where you live in Charlotte. So South Carolina is right like a stone's throw, as they say, from Charlotte. And she was mentioning that when her kids went to school, like they didn't get a lot of calls or a lot of cases of a lot of COVID cases in their school district. Our son, we had a lot. I mean, a lot. I said we had enough where we were afraid. So there's all these theories about stuff like that. But I just, the way I look at it, Ken, is I don't know how I'm going to react to COVID. I don't know how someone else would react to COVID if they were to catch it. So why take that chance?
Amen. All right, I asked you about one argument that I hear related to the vaccination. They say, hey, look, and this may not be right, it could be wrong to argue this, but they say, hey, look, I'm sitting here drinking a soda right now. I don't know what's in that soda.
No, sir.
So I always hear people kind of say, I don't want the vaccination because I don't know what's in it. I don't know what's going to do it. And then they turn around and go drink a soda or take a
do you know what's in
pill. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Do you know what's in moonshine?
Yeah.
Do you know what's in your blood pressure medicine?
That's all I'm saying, man. Do you know what's in some grits?
You ever read the ingredients?
You read the ingredients in grits.
Do you know what's in a hot dog?
Yeah. Ooh, a hot dog is about as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get your reaction to that. That's one of the arguments that I hear a lot of times is that there are a lot of folks who say they don't want to take it because they don't know what's in it, but we don't know what's in a lot of things that we ingest. Yeah.
Ken, for me, a lot of this is just people being influenced by the internet, or social media, I should say.
Okay.
We spend 40% of our time, I believe, not African Americans, but Americans spend like half of their time on social media. So we're getting our news from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter feeds all day, every day. So even subconsciously, we're seeing things that we don't know how we're being, quote unquote, conditioned or programmed, or influenced is a great word, by what we're just casually seeing. So for me, I understand how people feel about certain things as it relates to I don't know, or it's like your boy Aaron Rodgers said, I think he said I don't agree with all the ingredients in the and I'm like,
then you ask him what are the ingredients, he doesn't know.
But for me, I'm more upset about what are you gonna do? Are you gonna, which side of the ledger are you gonna be on? I think if you don't want to take the vaccine, I understand you not wanting to put something in your body. Whether I agree with that or not, I almost feel you. But not wearing a mask, I don't feel you.
Yeah.
Not doing both, that's where you lose me.
Yeah.
I want to know, well, what's the resolution?
And let me ask you about the other argument that I get. Since you said that, it's saying, look, if you're not going to wear a mask or get vaccinated, it ain't about you, though.
Yeah.
What about your family members? You get it and you give it to them. That's the other argument that I hear a lot, is that it's not necessarily about you. It's the people around you that you may impact if you get infected. So, I just hear those things and I wonder what the counter argument is,
I don't think there is a counter argument. And that's my point, that, you used to tell me back in the day, as someone, I used to get all upset about, something that happened in the news, whether it was someone getting assaulted or, some kind of police incident, or I may care about some type of issue as it relates to the Black community. And we used to have these discussions about, it's one thing to be upset, but what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so what I don't like is when, you don't want to wear a mask, you don't want to take the vaccine, but there's no solution that you are offering up to say, what do we do? Are we just supposed to let this virus just ravage the world?
Yeah.
And just, it's just supposed to be scorched earth. And we say, well, ain't wearing no mask though, everybody gone. Like, what do you want to do? That's my only issue.
And let me say this to all y'all out there. I wish one of y'all would post in the comments that grits are just grits and there are no ingredients.
Okay.
You need to look on the side of a box of grits. Yeah. Let me ask you this, Jay.
Especially them instant grits.
And let me ask you this, Jay. Then where do we go from here? You mentioned solutions.
Yeah.
Where do we as an African American community go? What are our priorities coming out of the pandemic? It's been an interesting dynamic to me because this thing has been vicious.
Yeah.
And people have passed away. People have lost time out of work. People have suffered from post-COVID syndrome and still weak and struggling. It's disrupted the workforce. It's adjusted the workforce. But it's funny, and everything that the good Lord does, God offers a ray of light and opportunity and hope. And it's strange. Some people are coming out of this pandemic running.
Yeah.
And like it's time to pop it off. So where do you think the African-American community should be now in terms of preparing for what we hope and pray will be the end of the pandemic?
Yeah, real quick, I do want to say that I believe that we're already experiencing some pandemic fatigue. I think that's why we see these spikes, like we just saw with Omicron around the holiday season, man. It was bananas here in Charlotte and everywhere, around that time. So I think people see that the end is near. Anytime we hear anything or we get a slight little ray of sunlight, we just like, all right, I ain't wearing no mask. I remember being at an event around Thanksgiving and no one had a mask on. I just went to Atlanta. Something was wrong with you if you had a mask on.
Wow.
Like they haven't worn a mask the whole pandemic. And so I think, to answer your question, since George Floyd's death that's happened during the pandemic, I believe that we are in some sort of we could be in some sort of a third Reconstruction. And I say that not just because I believe that this has been an opportunity where everyone witnessed what happened to George Floyd, and that had presented an opportunity for corporations, individuals, organizations to understand that there was a need for investment in Black communities, Black corporations. A lot of things were exposed during that time. And people felt emboldened, even in the Black community, to say what they really felt in their hearts.
I love it, man. I love what you're saying, man.
Yeah, the other part of that, I don't know if you know this. Of course, you know that I'm huge in social media. I love social media. I even pivoted my business to focus on that. But one thing that is also happening is the rise of cryptocurrency, places like Robinhood, where, this, you've been rich for a long time, where, if you wanted to invest or trade stocks, you would have to put up $1,000 to try to get on E-Trade or something like that. With Robinhood, I think it's less than $500. Even on Cash App, Bitcoin is available. So if you want to buy $5 worth of Bitcoin, you can just flip over on Cash App and do that. And so I think with the rise of cryptocurrency, the rise of NFTs and everything that's going on in social media and the digital world, the metaverse, all that crazy stuff that's happening right now, in conjunction to what is happening post George Floyd, I believe that we are maybe in the third Reconstruction if we work together to try to do something about it.
We're seeing a lot of African Americans get into these new markets and new trades.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the digital world. I was talking yesterday with an African American who owns a cryptocurrency company. So
I'd love to meet him.
And they're into energy trades now and moving into the energy field.
Ethereum.
But we were talking about these new markets and these new opportunities for the African American community, in the digital world, the social media world, cryptocurrency, just all types of new and different trades. And I'm really hoping that our community continues to step up, because I'm seeing a lot of African Americans get into these new verticals.
Man,
roll it out.
These Bitcoin boys have made a bag.
Yeah.
During the pandemic.
Yeah.
I can say my business did well during the pandemic just by being in a digital space. Yeah. It's been crazy, man. I don't know. What do you think? Have you eaten out more, like ordered more food online during the pandemic?
Of course.
Purchased more stuff online during the pandemic?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man. I think we are definitely, the pandemic pushed us past just, the communication phase of using social media and things online, and pushed us into more of the consumerism aspect of, and what they're calling like Web3, where everything is digital and it runs our lives a lot more.
Man, I get on YouTube every night and I see all these digital entrepreneurs.
Yeah, man.
It's young African Americans.
Man, like
getting
kids
getting paid out there.
Kids on TikTok making $100,000 a month just by posting videos, man.
On TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok pays really well.
All right. So,
Instagram.
So this is the last night of the podcast. If you want to catch me, I'll be on TikTok starting tomorrow night.
What you talking about? This going on TikTok?
Oh, this on TikTok too? We get ready to get paid.
Yeah, what you mean?
Like the young boys.
We're going to be like the old boys
on
TikTok.
Check us out. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's good stuff, Jay, man. I really hope we emerge from this. Obviously, we got to rely on the good Lord to get us there.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm really hoping that we're getting toward the end of the pandemic. But I'm really excited about the African American community having some creativity in terms of how we manage the business opportunities coming out of the pandemic.
But what do you think as a African American community culture, what do you think we should be doing post pandemic? Let's say right now they're saying the numbers are going down. Mm-hmm. It's about to be February. Let's say June, barely hearing about the coronavirus or COVID. Mm-hmm. What do you think the first priority should be for African Americans?
Pooling our resources, which is an issue that we typically don't do. But now that we've been forced to go sit down somewhere for a minute and interact in a more intimate way for a minute, I think that's where we're going. And I'm seeing some of that in terms of our business partnerships. People having time to think and integrate and talk and come up with ideas together, pooling their resources and energies as African Americans to do something more substantial. And most of it is related to the digital world. The other thing I like to see, and I think it may happen, I'm going to hope and pray it happens, but it may not, is I'd like to see the churches reemerge as a driver for the African American community. Now, when you have to sit down somewhere, sometimes you have to think.
In what way, if you don't mind me asking?
I always thought that the church was a driver for not only morality, but business in the African American community. A natural driver, a natural resource where we came together, interacted, and then we drove morality from the church out into the community.
Okay.
But in order to do that, you have to have people participating in the church. If you don't have young folk coming to church, you can't influence young folk.
Yeah.
And that's been one of the issues. Now, in some of the churches I'm familiar with, they're starting to see a rejuvenation. I don't know if it's because people are saying, look what we just went through. Now we got to rely on the church more, understand the church's role more. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I hope happens. Yeah. If you ask me whether or not I'm optimistic that it will, I won't say right now that I'm optimistic, but I'll say that I'll continue to hope.
Yeah, I think every organization will play its part in the best way that they can. I don't know what the church will do. I'm with you. I hope that that they can play a part. I just think, man, I think, Ken, that we're gonna realize, we're gonna look back at the pandemic and we're gonna see how so much has changed.
Well, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
You hear how reluctant we are to talk about our optimism related to the church. A lot of people are like, yo, God just hit y'all and told y'all to sit down. And y'all keep playing around, I'm going to hit you again. Yeah. Matter of fact, it cleared up. It seemed like God said, y'all still ain't got no sense. Okay. I'm going to hit you again. Yeah. But, it's just interesting. You just wonder whether or not the pandemic is going to have an impact on the church, a positive impact, and bring more people to the church just because they're concerned about what's happening in the world. I don't know whether or not that's going to happen. You know, that's just something that's up in the air. Yeah.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I think that we're in a, post-pandemic is a world where everyone is going to be used to not having so much human interaction.
Yeah.
I do think we crave human interaction. We never realized how much we needed it. But I also believe that we're going to be used to not seeing people and seeing them through a lens, whether that's on our phone, whether that's on our computer, through Zoom and all these things.
Man, Jane, you really have to wonder where that's going to end up.
Can you believe this? You and I, we've gone to the same churches or church at certain times. Like, I couldn't believe that I have not stepped inside of a church for worship service in like 2 years. That is insane to me.
It's insanity, man. That's why I'm hoping it'll pop back off.
Even when I was in Atlanta, it ain't take that long to get back into the church house.
That Atlanta take you. I won't say what that Atlanta will do to you, but anyway.
You need church.
You need church down there, boy. Anyway. But, yeah. All right, man. Look, Jay, man, great discussion, man.
All right, podcast over, man. We thank y'all for watching.
No, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you for listening.
No, sir. No, sir. Those are good vegetables, though. Those are good vegetables right here. But it's time to get to that dessert.
No.
That strawberry shortcake, boy.
This is, what's that stuff they used to make you take? Chamomile. What's that stuff?
Man, don't even start that.
What's that stuff they make you take when you're sick?
Castor oil.
That right there. That's what we have.
No, sir. Okay. No, sir. Wrong C, dog.
Wrong C.
This is that. How about them Cowboys? Man, we had to do this, man. We had to do this. I had to get to this, man.
Listen, man. It's important, when you have friends that, they can talk to you and say, hey, man, let me pull you to the side and say, bro, don't do this. Why are we talking about the Cowboys? I'm gonna chill.
Okay.
And let you.
I didn't bring cowboy hat or anything. I should have bought my stuff.
You should not have.
I decided not to bring it because I ain't wanted to be like that.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so. Jay, look, man. First of all, last podcast you made me honor LeBron James because of what he's accomplished, right? Man, I'm tired.
I don't know if that's what happened, but okay.
Yeah, man, I'm tired of people bashing the Cowboys, dog.
Okay, man, stop banging on the table.
No, I gotta do it like this, man. I'm tired of y'all bashing the Cowboys. Look, let me explain something to you, man. 12-5 and won our division. Somebody gotta speak up, man. You can't act like that's a failed season, dog. The only one team is gonna win. Now I'm starting to feel like some of them people on the internet, man. Talk about the Cowboys. Only one team is gonna win the Super Bowl every year, Jay Hill. Why can't I walk out of my front door, walk down the street, or go downtown, Charlotte, and have somebody say, great season, man. Great job, Cowboys. No, man, instead you get all this hate and negativity. You can't even bring up the fact, man, it's getting hard out here. You can't even bring up the fact that you're a Cowboy fan now. I'm tired of that, Jay, man. That's too much.
We're going to do the world a favor tonight.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to take my glasses off for this so I can make sure I'm looking you eye to eye. We're going to do the world a favor. So first, I want to talk about something, and then the second thing, I got a secret for you.
Why are you using this tone?
Because I want to make sure that I'm very clear about what I'm saying to you, and I want to make sure you understand.
Okay.
The first problem is the Cowboy fans. It's not the Cowboys, the team per se.
Okay.
It is the fans. There is something mentally wrong with Cowboy fans. They're the most delusional. Like, there's no other word to describe you all. That you all are delusional. The problem, the other problem is, Ken, is that, okay, we have a friend by the name of Mike Lee. Shout out to Mike Lee. Mike Lee is a Detroit Lion native, or Detroit Lion fan. The Lions been sorry forever, right? Oh, yeah. The Jets have been sorry forever. The Falcons have been sorry or wishy-washy forever. The difference is that we accept that. This is what this all comes down to. We accept that our teams are sorry. And to use your word, stink. We know that our teams are sorry. The Cowboy fans anytime, any glimmer of any type of success, they win a game, the first game of the season, before the season, we're going to the Super Bowl. How about those Cowboys? And that is why at the end of the season, when we all predict, we know the outcome every year, and it happens every year, and you guys act like you are oblivious that this is going to happen again year after year. It's been happening for 25 years, Ken.
Man, I'm gonna use your voice now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna do
a crescendo
I'm gonna
into
do
your voice.
I'm gonna do the smooth voice.
Okay.
First of all, let's start here, Jay. It's hard to believe that you can do something if you've never done it before. Okay. So don't come tell me about no Detroit Lion fans being like the Cowboys. We got 5 rings. Every year we step on the field, we believe that we can win it. The reason why the Detroit Lion fans don't believe it or don't get excited or aren't delusional, because they ain't never done nothing. Every year they start the season, Mike Lee said they were the best 0-10 team in the country. That's what he told us this year. They're the best 0-10 team in the country. He said they're perfect. He said we're perfect this year.
Perfectly bad.
Had lost every game. So what I'm saying is, Jay, you all say we're delusional, but I would say that we think about our honorable past. You know, we think about what we've accomplished in the past, and that makes us believe.
How long do you hold on to the past?
As long as the ring shines, baby. As long as that ring shines.
Ken, do you know 25 years ago I had hair and was in high school?
I understand, and that ring was just as shiny then as it is now.
So, but
some teams ain't never even been to the Super Bowl.
I know, but do you know, like right now, you're showing flashes of the delusion?
Yeah, I feel you.
Okay, I mean, like really,
you, man.
but that is
can't help.
I know, we know that's what makes it fun. So you started your, I'm not gonna call it a rant, but you started you started speaking.
I'm not gonna call you rant or rant.
Trying to understand what the issue is, and I'm communicating to you what the issue is. The issue is because Cowboy fans, granted, you had a successful, illustrious past. I let me give you my childhood. Grew up a Washington Redskin fan. My teenage years were in the 1990s, so those Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman teams, Jimmy Johnson teams, even Barry Switzer. I mean, that is right in my high school, junior high, college years. And the way I want people who may be too young to understand this or may not be football fans or sports fans, you know how the New England Patriots right now, when Tom Brady was there, it seemed like they did everything right. Mm-hmm. It seemed like they could never make a mistake. If there were any breaks in the game, they always fell their way. That is what it was like for the Dallas Cowboys for a long time. From 78 or whatever, 1970s, all the way through the 1990s. And so I understand someone like yourself growing up a Dallas fan from Conroe, Texas, right?
Conroe, Texas.
So I get it. But the problem now is that we're 25 years post-success, and you guys act like it's 1995, and that's the issue.
LG over there is still a fan. I'm gonna ask him.
He's still living off 1970, whatever, the 4 titles in the 70s.
You know what a hater eats for breakfast?
What?
Jealousy. Okay? That's what a hater eats for breakfast.
What are we
Is it?
Delusion.
Is it people not liking the fans? Are they jealous of what we got? Because every year, I don't care what happens, we wake up in that first day of the season, we wake up, dog. We feeling good. We hyped. We believe that it's going to happen. Now, I have to admit that at the end of the day, we usually end up being disappointed. But, boy, we enjoy every minute of the ride every year. Jerry can make all the mistakes in the world, but every year we go into it saying, we going to win it this year. That's how we start. Man, I done watch fans for other teams, man, start off these, man, we ain't going to do nothing this year, man. We ain't gonna. So some of it is jealousy, man. Some of it is just jealousy, man.
We're jealous of your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
And our team, man.
And your delusion. We're
12-5, man. Divisional champions, man. You know what I'm saying?
We're jealous of the beautiful comfort of delusion that you guys express.
It's a lot to be jealous of, man. Look at our team. Look at the cheerleaders. Look at the success that we've had. The record. Hey, come on, man. That's Cowboys cheerleading, man. On the hottest stage out there, man. Don't even from my wife watching every single episode, man.
The cheerleaders.
Oh yeah,
Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What channel they come on?
I don't know. It's on every time I come home. I know, man. It's a lot to take. I know it's a lot to take in, man. That may be part of it too, trying to take in the breadth of all that the Cowboys are. The stadium, the cheerleaders, the team, Dak, Ezekiel, the old players walking on the side. You might go to the stadium and see Tony Dorsett walking on the side. Come on, LG.
Yo, man.
It's an experience. That's what y'all don't understand. Man, the Cowboys they're not just a team, they're an experience.
Listen, man, we on the podcast, so I'm going to let you cook. You cooking. I'm going to let you cook. We supposed to talk on the podcast.
Y'all man, make some comments. Can they make comments down below? If anybody converts to the Cowboys tonight because of me, put your little comment down there.
Convert?
Yeah.
Man, listen.
Come on over.
They laughing, dog.
Huh?
It's laughing.
Ain't nobody laughing.
It's laughing emojis.
Ain't none of them blind fans laughing.
It is.
I know that.
Because, man, it's so sad.
Oh, they got to change the color on the D.
It's so...
Put some silver on the D. Come on up. We waiting on y'all. Come on up.
It's so bad, man. We're looking at you right now. The world is looking at you, and you're the prime example of a Cowboy fan that is delusional and unaccepting of what their stance is, who they are right now.
Come on over. Don't listen to Jay. Don't let Jay rob you of your joy. Come on over, Cowboys.
And then let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I want to shoot you some bail, as a young folks say, or they say up top. Yeah. The greatest secret that everybody knows the truth about is that until Jerry Jones is no longer the GM of the Cowboys, they're gonna lose, man.
We didn't lose this year.
No.
We 12. See, man, y'all can't celebrate our success, man. Y'all can't celebrate 12-5, man. That's what you're telling me.
No, because you guys have set the standard so high, right?
Okay.
You set the standard high every year by saying we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl, and you guys don't either make it to the playoffs or you lose in the first round.
If you ain't saying that at the beginning of the season, then you ain't no fan for whatever team you root for.
No, but y'all believe it. It's
you supposed to believe it.
No,
LG believed it with the Steelers.
He does not believe that. He
hopes every year.
He hopes that they make it to the Super Bowl. Man, he hopes they have a good season. You guys believe that you're going to have a winning season and go to the Super Bowl and win it.
Man, let me change the topic, man.
Okay,
I know.
I don't even know. Listen, I don't even know why we're talking about the Cowboys.
In the comment thing, come on over. We're going to start this thing off now for next season.
Okay.
I got to ask you a question, though,
about
the Cowboys. This is why they're such a wonderful franchise. They got a black quarterback. This is in the black court. Okay. Yeah. Cowboys got a black quarterback. Mm-hmm. Paid him $160 million.
75 this year.
175?
No, 75 million this year.
75, but the total contract was 160.
Yes, sir. I just want to emphasize that he made $75 million this year and couldn't win a playoff game.
See, you going back to the. I'm talking about the black community now. Yeah, we back to the black.
We talking about legal stuff and law.
Yeah, we back to the money side of it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think he had a $60+ million signing bonus.
Man, he ate. Is anything left on his contract?
Can we get no, but that bone? Can we give the Cowboys props on that, man? They paid a black quarterback, Jay, $160. Man, why you turn away from me, Jay? 100. Now you turn it back to me. I'm talking about a black quarterback, 100, and I don't hear nothing from all these fans out here, man, saying Jerry Jones handled his business. Mm-hmm. He paid Dak $160. That's a black quarterback. Doug Williams made $20.37 his first year in the NFL. They paid him $160 million.
I think Doug had like a timeshare and like 60 grand a year.
And Williams threw 8 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, made $197. Oh, God, come on, man. Can we give Jerry some props for what he did with that? Come on. I don't hear that conversation, man, in the black community. Come on, man. Give it up, Jay. Give it. Just go ahead and get that piece up now.
Okay, all right. You ready? Yeah. All right, so shout out to Dak Prescott. I like Dak. Dak's pretty cool. Okay. But no, Jerry does not get any credit for paying him. He had to pay him.
All right, man. We had to take a break, man, because what we was trying to figure out.
I couldn't take it, dog.
It took us an hour and a half to figure this out.
I couldn't take
how a team like the Cowboys can be 12-5, and nobody give them any props at all. So it took us an hour, and we back now. We figured it out. I think we figured it out, but man, I don't understand that, Jay. Man, we don't have to talk about the Cowboys no more. I'm disappointed in the community.
I've been in courtrooms with you. I have been in conference rooms with you. I've heard you on the phone for years. I've heard you on the phone just working miracles on the phone, negotiating deals and all kinds of stuff. And I do not understand how you are this delusional about something as simple as people losing every year for 25 years. I don't understand why is this so hard, man.
Man, when you 12.
Hold on, look. Snap out of it. That was my bad. I just wanted to see if that was gonna work, man.
Man, you just said, man, you couldn't get. I'm gonna add. Look, who's delusional? We can't give Jerry Jones props for playing a black quarterback $160 million. Now, who's delusional?
That's what I was talking about, Dak.
Okay.
Man, he had to pay Dak. He didn't pay Dak because Dak was special. He didn't pay Dak because he was black. Now, I'm happy.
They didn't have to sign Dak now. You do know that, right?
They would have been dumb.
Well,
good quarterbacks don't grow on trees. Dak is a good quarterback. I like him. He's really, I think he plays really well. He hasn't shown that he can lead a team to, to the Super Bowl or anything like that. But I mean, he's a good average quarterback.
Coop, black,
good quarterback.
Coop, black. Michael Parsons, black. Trayvon Diggs, black. All these brothers on the Cowboys handling their business.
Man, 80% of the league,
black. That's all I'm saying. We in there with everybody else.
Delusion. That's what you know. What we need a little. You know what we need to put on the screen? Delusion. When you start saying stuff that's crazy, we gonna splash delusion on the screen. You know what I'm gonna do? Because I'm starting to really believe it now. I'm starting to feel it, man. It's jealousy. It took me all these years. I've been doing it. I've been having these conversations for 78 years. Man, it's sad, man.
Now I understand what it is. It's jealousy. It's cool, though. It's cool. Because what we going to do man? As Cowboy fans, we're not going to relent. We near the end of the podcast. We ate our vegetables.
Man, are you playing podcast right now? Do you really believe this about the Cowboys?
We ate our dessert with the Cowboys. And we're going to continue to eat our dessert, which is the Cowboys. We're going to continue to root for them and feel good about them. And at the beginning of the season next year, I'm going to wake up the first day of the season, I'm going to say, we're going to try to handle our business and win a Super Bowl. That's what we're going to do every single year.
I can say this. This year, you did try to couch your expectations for the Cowboys. I will give you credit for that. But the delusion in thinking that a 12-5 season, that's a decent record, but it wasn't the expectation for the team. Do you think Jerry Jones thought that they were going to go 12-5 and not go to win a playoff game?
Yeah, because
you do think that he.
Man, let me tell you something. So let me
hold on.
I know we near the end. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, he didn't think they were going to the Super Bowl. I can tell you that.
He did not think.
No, sir.
Can't stop.
Come on, man. They didn't have enough beef. They didn't have enough beef when they had too many injuries. Dak was hurt. Nobody knew what Dak was going to be this year at the beginning of the season. Do
you think that?
Come on, man. Dak coming off a big injury. Nobody said Super Bowl at the beginning of the year.
I'm trying to act dignified. Stop. So, do you think that he felt that they were going to win a playoff game this year? Do you think Jerry Jones?
Maybe he might have. If he assumed that Dak was going to be healthy, I think he may have thought they would have won a playoff.
Was Dak healthy?
No.
What was wrong with Dak?
I mean, Dak was coming off a very severe injury, man.
I'm saying
at the beginning of the season.
Dak said that he didn't have any problems with his ankle this year.
And please, at the beginning of the go back and look. Dak,
no, but in the playoff game,
that was the problem with
in the playoff game. Did Dak?
No, you asking me if Jerry at the beginning of the season believed that they would win a playoff game. I'm telling you no, because nobody knew what Dak was going to be this year.
Jerry Jones stood outside of his suite and did a press conference after the game, like he does after every game, and said that he was disappointed That was
No. I know he's disappointed now, knowing that Dak was healthy.
You're lawyering right now.
No, for real.
I
At
know
the beginning of the
you're
season,
lawyering right now.
nobody knew whether or not Dak Prescott was healthy.
Okay, and then throughout the season, Dak said, "I have no problem with my ankle. The only issue."
No, if you asked me a different question, whether or not Jerry Jones believed later.
Okay,
after
you're lawyering right now.
I'm serious.
That's I'm saying. You're a lawyering right now. So every time that I'm asking you a question, if a particular word is not in there, then you're switching up whether your answer is not. So you ask the question how you feel like the question needs to be answered. Them not win, the Dallas Cowboys not winning the playoff game is a disappointment for them. It's obvious. That's why you got everybody.
No, okay, so for me too. Yeah, and for Jerry Jones.
Do you think Jerry Jones thinks that was disappointment?
Without a doubt. Now, but the question you asked earlier was whether or not he at the beginning of the season.
That's fine. Okay. At the end, in the middle, at the beginning, it don't matter.
It's a disappointment now.
Somebody's disappointed, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's the point. There's disappointment every single year. It's been disappointment for 25 years. It shows it rears its ugly head every year in some fashion.
Let me ask you a question, though. If it's disappointing for the Cowboys,
it's fun for us.
How disappointed is it for a team that has never been to the Super Bowl?
We don't care.
Oh, y'all don't care? Okay.
Not like that.
Hey, man. I feel you.
Yeah, so you can't miss what you ain't never had.
I said that at the beginning.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that, but guess what?
Yeah.
You guys are still living off that for 25 years, and you still at the end. But the issue is that every year you guys think it's going to happen. And
I ate this year 12-5. I'm full. I ate it 12-5 because I had fun this year. I had Trayvon Diggs handling his business. I had Michael Parsons handling his business.
Did you have fun at the playoff game?
No, not the playoff game. Okay. I enjoyed the playoff game. That hurt right there. But now I will say this: San Francisco ended up being better, of course, than we thought.
Okay.
So I have to acknowledge that San Francisco is just probably the better team. Dallas has some
San
gaps.
Francisco is not the better team, Ken.
What you mean by that?
That's the point, Ken. Dallas is a better team. Oh, yeah,
They just beat Green Bay.
Hold on, they did.
Come on, now. Let's hold on now.
Okay, Green Bay is a better team than San Francisco
and the Cowboys.
Arguably, I don't. Dallas is a better team than San Francisco. They are.
I'm gonna let you ride with that, but that's just an opinion.
No, that's not
because
an opinion.
San Francisco has gone ahead and won against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay in the snow. That means they're a very, very good team.
Aaron Rodgers did not even throw a touchdown in that game, Ken.
Because of the San Francisco defense.
I don't think that. I think because every year he's had a flame out for many times in the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
My point is that the Dallas Cowboys is a better team. If you look at their quarterback, Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Jimmy G.
At times, Jimmy G.
The defense for Dallas is much better than the defense. Well, I ain't gonna say much better, but I would say equally as better, if not better. Yeah.
Not in the trenches.
Now on the offense, you got Deebo Samuels, who's awesome, but on the offense for the Dallas Cowboys, you got Gallup.
Gallup didn't play.
Okay, Gallup didn't play. CD Lamb played. Amari Cooper played.
Coop been hurt.
It was Coop. Did Coop play in that last game?
Yeah, but he was
hurt.
hurt.
Come on, man, stop it. So, see, the point of the matter is that...
So now I'm going to ask you who's delusional now, because you said that Dallas was better than San Francisco. San Francisco just beat Green Bay.
They just hit them in the mouth and smacked them.
Okay.
We already understand that Dallas is not going to play up to their capabilities, or if they don't have those capabilities, y'all hype them up.
Can I give an analysis... And I know you're gonna say I'm delusional and giving.
Why are we talking about the Cowboys, man? They lost.
We're gonna because we're getting ready to end it now because they did.
Thank you. I bet you.
But I will say this: Dallas didn't have the reason why I wasn't hyped on Dallas because they didn't have the beef. You have to be able to compete in the trenches. Their offensive line and their defensive lines were subpar. But you know what? Dallas was fool's gold this year.
They should have run the ball. They lost because they didn't run the ball.
No, I get it, but I'm saying they were fool's gold because. You look at things that are shiny and you think they're gold, right? Mm-hmm. Ezekiel Elliott was hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. I love Trayvon Diggs.
Pollard.
Shiny little piece of gold right there. But Trayvon Diggs started getting burnt toward the end of the year because he is a ball hawk, going for interceptions. He ran into problems with getting beat with the deep ball late in the year. But my whole concern was that you got great players like Michael Parsons and D. Lawrence, but you got to have that beef And we just didn't have beef on either line. So what happened was, you mentioned getting smashed in the mouth. San Francisco smashed us in the mouth. Mm-hmm. They ran the doggone ball, and then they threw the ball, but we couldn't get to the quarterback. You got to have beef. And I agree with you on Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has had a penchant for getting great, shiny objects on his team. Those shiny players, Dak, Ezekiel, Pollard, Coop, and all that. But the best Dallas teams were those teams that had them hogs. Yeah. And he needs to go back now if he's going to try to build the team up. Go get you some hogs, dog. The hogs are more important sometimes than these flashy players. You know, I tell you who's like that? Ooh. The daggone Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't care what happens. They're going to have physical, big, strong, I hate to say the word big masculine dudes, but they're always going to have that type of player. Dallas is more of a finesse team. And when you're a finesse team and somebody comes, like you said, beat you in the mouth, you get beat in the mouth. But anyway.
Listen, man. No, you ain't finna do that. You ain't finna wrap the show after you say that, man. Like, listen. I'm gonna let you do your thing, man. I don't even understand why we even talking about the Cowboys tonight. Listen, y'all should have ran the ball. If y'all would have ran the ball, the stats say every time that you run the ball more than you throw it, you guys win. Yeah. But y'all hard headed. Yeah. Mike McCarthy doesn't know how to manage the clock in games. It's all stupid stuff on why y'all lose, man. So unfortunately, I'm
gonna tell y'all gonna have to decide.
But we celebrate because we know something's gonna happen.
Y'all gonna have to decide who's delusional. So we're going to have, y'all put that in the comments. It's me or Jay. I don't mind. Look, y'all do your thing. But now if Jay's delusional.
Blinded by my hate.
I want y'all to put you blinded by hate. Y'all put that down there. Hey, man, Jay, another great podcast.
Yes, sir, man. Always.
You know, them vegetables was hard tonight, man. That COVID.
Yeah.
But we got through it, man, and then we talked about that sweetness, that sweet honeysuckle.
I apologize to our listeners and viewers, man. He made me do it. I'm trying to be a good partner.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. You know I appreciate you. I love you, Jay. I appreciate you for doing it. Gave me a chance to get that out of my system. Hey, look, after a disappointing season.
Let me tell you about the Falcons.
But, man, hey, look forward to doing it again next week
sir.
with Jay Hill in the Black Court as always, man. Hey, and we'll get it popping again, man.
Man, great show, man, as always.
All right, dog.
See you next time.
Peace.